EVO Vegas 2026 has just concluded, and over the course of the weekend, 2,400 players were whittled down to only one champion, and we had MenaRD becoming the first back-to-back EVO Vegas champion for Street Fighter since Daigo Umehara in 2009 and 2010. But aside from MenaRD's amazing plays, there were a ton of top-level talent and top-level plays to break down over the course of the weekend. So let's go ahead and analyze some of the best plays from EVO 2026. First up, starting in pools, we had Noble from Japan with his Luke up against Rek here from the USA with his Ed. And in the first game here, we have Rek on a strong start here. He's going to go ahead and burn himself out for the momentum, and you hear Justin Wong saying he's scared he's not going to burn the meter. But it comes back to bite him. Drive rush into level 3 from Noble to go through the level 2 from Ed. And then the guaranteed checkmate scenario right after. Really great awareness here from Noble. So if you don't understand how this works, Rek was a little bit greedy and not going for the kill, which he could have gone for on this combo conversion, which Just Wong aptly pointed out it makes him nervous. He wanted to back up here and set up the level 2, which would then slowly approach into Noble into the corner and allow for potential strike throw mix-ups. And Noble really couldn't afford to parry here because the punish counter throw would kill him. But Noble's been in this situation before. Ed's Psycho Cannon, his level 2, has 8 frames of startup and 27 frames of recovery, meaning a juicy 35 frame punish window if you can get in range and punish. And because Rek perfectly backed up to set up the spacing to have more time to approach behind the level 2, they gave Noble just enough room to drive rush in level 3 right before the level 2 is about to make contact. There's a minimum amount of time you have to travel before you can cancel out of the drive rush, so that was great spacing awareness. And then, of course, with the knockdown after the level 3, this OD fireball is guaranteed. Rek has level 1, but level 1s aren't projectile invincible, so it was complete turnaround and checkmate scenario there from Noble, so great awareness in this play. Next up, we have Nephew from the USA versus Kings Vega, one of the best Blankas in the world right now in round 3 of pools. Wake up low forward to bait out the shimmy, pop level 2. Low health and drive gate situation for both players, and then Spaghetti? Sherry calls it an American reset, but I'm here to set the record straight that this was indeed a 300 IQ play from Nephew here. So if you don't know about Jury's level 2, when you pop it for this time being, you can cancel all of her moves into each other, and you can also cancel normals into special moves that are not normally cancelable. Normally, you cannot cancel Crouching Heavy Kick into a special move, but in the level 2, you can. And if you end your sequence into the sweep, it's going to give you a knockdown. Cancel the heavy DP, you're left at +1. So this was actually really intentional from Nephew in this situation, because if you end up recovering in place and you try to wake up with your fastest button, you can get the counter hit. Instead, you move first. So it's really meant to catch people off guard. Nephew went for that because the follow-up situation, if he just spent all the level 2 and continued the combo, was going to do very little damage and not kill. So why not go for the surprise attack and catch him off guard and make it look like a mistake and try to have the Kings Vega punish the whiffed DP, the accidental DP, but really you bait them into pressing. Of course, they could just potentially recover backwards instead if they're aware of this and kind of escape that situation. But it was just a tricky play in the heat of the moment for Nephew to steal back that round. Another big storyline this EVO was the Young Bucks showing up. Of course, you have the staples, the Blahs, the Crimea, the Hnaus, but also we had Haite Ryu, Modern Zangief from Japan, 16 years old, and he was on an absolute tear on his way to his 9th place finish. Here he is up against DCQ. DCQ is in burnout, 1 round away from being eliminated, and sneaky hop into the level 3. And this was really, really clever, not just because it was a hop to level 3 properly spaced, but you know, it's actually the best optimal play. And here you can see Haite Ryu here is going to go ahead and pop off. He has the haircut, man. Look, he came prepared. He is Zangief. He has the actual mohawk himself. He's getting the flex on. Amazing spirit there from Haite. But this play was great because Geef traditionally has a hard time punishing sweeps to begin with, and because Haite is actually in burnout, Bison sweep is usually only -12. This was -8 on block. The best punish Haite could have gotten here was something like a crouching medium punch. So maybe he could have done crouching medium punch into level 2. That might not have even had killed the level 1 extension, but he recognizes the spacing perfectly to sneak in the whiffed hop kick on purpose, not making contact, straight into the CA, which guarantees the kill. So very, very great awareness from Haitei Ryu here. That wasn't the end of his run. He also went up against Gachikun, who, along with all the other Rishi players, historically has done pretty bad against Zangief. This was an absolute beatdown. He 2-0'd DCQ, but this 2-0 over Gachikun was one of the fastest sets of the entire tournament. Every single interaction, Gachikun guessed incorrectly after that jump in connected. And the 16-year-old Modern Zangief took out Capcom Cup champions, CPT qualifiers, top 8 finishers at Capcom Cup, all with the Modern Zangief. So shout out to Haitei Ryu. Amazing run from this kid. It wasn't just surprising to see a young Modern Zangief player get that far in the bracket, but also we had Tauntaun on a tear with his Jamie. Here he is up against Dual Kevin, already a perfect on the board here. He's going to get the drive rush cancel in to get the grab, get the drink level, perfectly spaced jump in over the fireball, sweep knockdown to drink, and the setup here with the OD dive kick, and wait a minute. He's going to burn level 3 on this. He's going to keep going with the damage. Hold on. This is not going to be a double perfect on the big stage, is it? Extension here. Driver, stand, medium kick, heavy kick, drivers cancel, crouching, medium punch, heavy kick, juggle, crouching, heavy punch, breakdance, and a double perfect over Dual Kevin with Jamie in top 24 of EVO 2026. And let's go ahead and break down that one little interaction here. Aside from the incredible combo conversion, the fact that he was able to do this here in the first place is really impressive. This is very, very clever from Tauntaun because after he builds level 1, he has access to the OD dive kick, which is a really strong offensive pressure tool. You can see why here. After he builds his second drink, this knockdown setup, he can either go for a strike, a throw, or this dive kick. If Dual Kevin woke up with a throw tech trying to defend against a throw, the dive kick would punish it, but also it covers wake up, reversal, OD, DP. This is matchup specific tech. It's not going to bait every reversal, but for the Rashid matchup, that's really strong, covers both throw, which would punish counter into a combo, and the reversal OD, DP, and perfectly optimized combo conversion as well to secure the double perfect. Also in top 24, surprisingly, we had Menon players. Not just any Menon player. Who's this scrub? iDom, top 24? This guy? I can't believe he made it this far. All jokes aside, iDom's very solid. He had a great run this EVO. And here he is against Jojo Tato, the second place finisher at CPT Chengdu in China last year. And huge bait. Jojo Tato is on set point. iDom's trying to make a comeback. Reset to command grab. We're getting a little bit of spaghetti here. This is dangerous for both players. And the DI, it countered hit. This was just chaos happening on the screen in this round. Let's break down a few of these interactions of how iDom brought this one back in this round. So first off, the absolute crazy risk here. It might seem a little brash or a little risky for no reason. Towards light kick into the DP from Jojo Tato. I don't think this was that crazy of a risk. To explain, iDom is at 5 medals here in this scenario. 5 medals means all of his command grabs will do a third of your life. It'll do so much damage, and also combo hits as well do a lot of damage. So basically, the strike throw mix risk reward is heavily in Menon's favor. Towards light kick, great move. If it counter hits, it would be a kill combo, and if it hits on a regular hit, he can go for strike throw and win the set as well. But once blocked, it kind of makes sense to say, okay, I don't want to deal with your coin flip, command grab, or strike mix-up right here. If I do ODDP and you try to do anything, you lose immediately. So Jojo Tato tried to play on those expectations to go for the ODDP, but iDom was aware of this and just decides to block it out to get the punish. And here, I had to confirm with iDom himself, he wasn't sure if he should go for a level 3 combo or a level 2. Level 3, his max damage route, still wouldn't kill at this point. It's just too much damage, even with 5 medals. So he ended up doing neither in the heat of the moment and just said, oh, what was my combo? Oh, fuck it, here we go. Just throw in a level 3, or sorry, a level 5 command grab instead. So he took advantage of the hesitation, got that command grab. And here we have another interesting interaction. iDom is looking for any big button here to react with DI because Jojo Tato is now in burnout. He can't cancel DI, but he doesn't actually get the punish counter on this towards light kick. Jojo Tato recovers in time, and you can see it's a counter hit. What happened there? It looks like Jojo Tato tried to go for a grab on the DI and ended up making himself counter hit by the DI. If he just blocked, he would have survived this interaction, but instead he got hit out of it. You can throw the DI if it's early enough. Jojotaro just didn't have the frame advantage to do it. And if he had reacted instead with a super, a level 1, a level 2, level 3, and pick any one of them, he would have won the set as well. But iDom gets away with that one right there. And with that bit of luck, iDom manages to run this all the way back to a final game, final round situation, where here we have, of course, the Discourse Maker. Drive Rush into Tiger Nexus from Jojotaro. We've been seeing this clip all over Twitter. iDom loves to try to check every single Drive Rush with buttons. He's really good at it, but of course, that's going to loosen those kind of tactics. Then we have the Wake Up, Light Punch into Command Grab, the online Menon special. Level 5 on the side of iDom, though, so every Command Grab is very dangerous. So we're going to have to see how Jojotaro fights this off, but there we go. Not deterred from checking the Drive Rush. iDom checks it in the end and then does the reset again to the Command Grab for the kill. The funny thing is, if Jojotaro just went for the Drive Rush Nexus one more time, it would have worked. He thought maybe he had conditioned this man to stop checking Drive Rush. No, iDom will always try to check the Drive Rush, no matter how many times he gets baited for it, and it worked out this time. iDom makes the comeback versus Jojotaro. And here we have what was maybe the most intense match of the entire tournament, Ending Walker versus Takapi. Takapi, arguably the best JP actively competing in Japan right now. This match was absolutely absurd, and the level of perfect parry awareness and matchup awareness from Ending Walker was ridiculous. Popped level 2. Great defense on that. Doesn't fall for any strike throw shenanigans. Does Ending Walker. Perfect parry on the spike. Perfect parry on the crouching MK. Trying to take his turn back was Takapi. Nice check on the flicker feint. Jump back. Perfect parry on the regular popped spike. He has the internal timer in his head. And he has it here again. I cannot believe he perfect parried that spike while Takapi was jumping to allow him to challenge the jump in. Absolutely ridiculous matchup awareness. Don't take your turn back. Get perfect parried one more time. Hold that into the corner. Charge flicker for the plus frames. He's got to try to force some drive gauge tip damage here. And it doesn't get quite enough, but the offense is on. String to the OD fireball from Ending Walker. Takapi on his hind foot goes for the level 1 here. Tap parry again. One too many. Trying to read maybe a swipe attempt from Takapi. Lets him back up, build a level 2. Again, second one in one round. He goes for the command dash into the punch to challenge him. Burns himself out on the offensive side. Takapi just comes out of burnout now. Drive reversal on the parry, on the flicker. Jumps over the spike, pulls in for the plus frames. Jump back light kick here now. This was in order to bait a throw attempt into another burnout. Takapi's going to try to zone him out, but Ending Walker recovers from the burnout and gets the final trade in his favor with just enough life to win the round instead. Crazy round here. Absolutely ridiculous sequencing and awareness from both players, but Ending Walker's perfect parries and life awareness was just too next level. I want to highlight again this interaction here with the Amnesia. This was really clever from both players. So after Ending Walker pulls in Takapi, this is going to be a strike throw situation. He's plus and can move first. So what Ending Walker does is he goes for the jump back light kick. What this would do is if Takapi decides to tech a grab, he will actually die in this situation. It'll jump away from the grab and hit him with the fadeaway light kick. If Takapi holds down back or crouches or doesn't throw tech, you're crouching, so this just whiffs. It only punishes you when you're standing or makes contact, so it punishes stand tech attempts. People don't do this when it won't kill because those are actually very negative on hit. You can get hit by a jump back light kick and then still chase him down for a full punish. So it's a good final interaction round ender. But Takapi just instead goes for the Amnesia on it, which puts the bombs on him instead and keeps the craziness going. Just really nuts interactions. Ending Walker just getting out of the burnout here. And then going for the OD fireball on the spike when he just barely has the health to tank this. I mean, I think even this interaction, I think he only gets one of the spikes going. It was if he had OD that would have killed, for example, and this follow-up portal would have popped if he didn't die or didn't get hit, and would have also allowed the kill to occur. So just crazy interaction, and Ending Walker ends up taking this set. And the last top 24 match, a qualifier into top 8, we have everyone's favorite matchup, Sagat versus Mai, crossover RD from the Dominican Republic up against Killzoo from France, second place at Capcom Cup, looking to make their way into top 8 winners. Crossover's about to win this first game here. Killzoo with a sliver of life remaining and perfect parry on the DI. He did not have enough health to counter DI in return. He would have died if he pressed DI there. So he had to get the perfect parry to start making this sequence happen. And then he's going to harass with the level 1 fans here. And Crossover's going to try DI again, trying to get that kill, because if he counter DIs at any point, he's dead. But he breaks it with too many hits and gets the actual stun there when Crossover expended all of his resources. Great comeback there from KillsU. And it shows you how having that life awareness and perfect parry timing is key to make these comebacks happen, and how DI, while a great round closer, sometimes can end up costing you games if their perfect parries are on point. Then on to top 8 itself, one of the most electrifying sets of the whole tournament. Tantanmen with his Jamie, who made it into top 8 winner side, up against Cryme, the 15-year-old Chilean prodigy. Not Blas, Cryme made it in this time. Those kids are destroying the worldwide competition. So these two players are going at it. Cryme with the Ryu, Tantanmen with the JP. And here we have a final round scenario in game 3 here, both in burnout. Level 3 just landed from Cryme. Hashogeki sequencing. He recovers from burnout, pushing him all the way to the corner. Tantanmen has no meter here, and just before the drive gauge recovers, perfectly timed stun into the Denjin combo, and that's all she wrote. This burnout sequence was absolutely brutal, and it seemed like it was almost a checkmate from the moment this level 3 connected. Like, just incredibly calculated sequencing here from Cryme. But there was a little bit of counterplay that could have potentially worked in Tantanmen's favor here. So here I've recreated the situation post level 3, the same meters and everything, and this Hashogeki sequence leaves almost no gaps to interrupt, and it's also perfectly calculated to both get Ryu out of burnout and also to not take the opponent out of burnout, because as you can see, every time you're hitting them, their drive gauge bar is actually replenishing. So you have to sequence this in such a way where you can harass them, get them to the corner, and also not put them pull them out of burnout as well. So really well calculated sequence here from Cryme, because all these Hashogekis become plus on block when they're in burnout. Because at almost any point, if they try to interrupt, they're just going to get beat up by these Hashogekis because they're all plus on block. So doing this like this is super strong. Allows them to reset and keep the pressure going. But there is a few opportunities where you could actually challenge and interrupt this. As this sequence keeps going, Ryu's going to push himself further and further back. So at this point, Ryu cannot do stand light punch here to continue the sequence. So if you know about this exact pathing that he's taking, when he goes for stand light kick here, you actually can trade, because the Hashogeki on block is only going to be +1. So the stand light kick here is actually 5 frames, and there's a slight gap there where if you know about it, you can instead interrupt at this part of the sequence. So that would be one place where you can try to challenge. Of course, they could do nothing and instead just leave a gap there. It's what makes it so dangerous. Do like a heavy punch instead, but that's the situation that Cryme is putting you in. One other key checkpoint is also right away. Crouching medium kick into heavy Hasho is stealing a lot of frames there. There's actually a 10 frame gap here. So pressing crouching medium kick would be really strong, because that would just interrupt anything. And if he goes for the medium Hasho, or if he goes for the light Hasho, it's actually a block string, so you won't get punished for that. And any other special move that Ryu goes for here will also be a block string, including medium donkey or light donkey. If he goes for a heavy donkey, you also interrupt. So after blocking the crouching MK, pressing your own in return would also be pretty powerful and interrupt and get out of the sequence. But the number one thing to know about interrupting this is after level 3, Ryu's Oki is not that great. Dash up here, -5. So to stop all of this from the very beginning, from getting started, you could have tried to have reacted to the dash up here and just done wake up crouching medium kick. There's nothing Ryu can do here after dashing to interrupt this, not even like a light DP. And if I dash up and try to walk away, I can't walk away from the crouching MK. So after the dash, the wake up check crouching medium kick is guaranteed to check Ryu. It's just difficult to see, because what if he just instead walks up and presses heavy punch? So great plays from Cryme. He basically said, hey, I have the planned sequence here that will kill you in this situation. You need to know and trust your reactions and trust your instincts to check what I'm doing, or else I win this round and this game. Tantanmen does manage to take Cryme to a final game scenario, but here we have Cryme on set point. Tantanmen 3 drinks on the board, goes for the toward heavy kick, but great neutral jump read from Cryme. Neutral jump is a really strong option to stuff out Jamie's really far forward-moving momentum moves, but the level 3 doesn't put him in burnout, but Tantan might remember something from last time. This time he goes for the wake-up crouching medium kick after the level 3, doesn't convert into a kill or spend the CA, but he gets the drink level 4, max damage scaling, pops to level 2. The level 2 restores the drive gauge, forces the drive reversal out of crime, a perfect parry, but it's not enough. The sneaky overhead from Crime, a crazy final round interactions here. Let's go ahead and rewind and check out a few of those key moments here, though. So like we mentioned before, after the regular level 3 from Ryu dash up, not too much frame advantage. Even with drive rush behind it as Crime tries here, you're not going to get that too much frame advantage. Crime, I believe, was trying to do drive rush jab whiff in order to bait out a tap parry, because Tantan, if he gets put into burnout, he's probably going to lose this game. Tantan then takes advantage of the forward movement and goes for the low forward instead to check this, which is a great move. Spends the driver's cancel just to get into burnout early and get momentum here. He decides not to go into the CA. The CA would have done a ton of damage, but it wouldn't have killed here and would have left Tantan in burnout with no super. Instead, he dashes in for the Oki. He's going to go for the stagger pressure, and once he lands the grab, he's going to be able to go into the final drink level 4 with Jamie, max damage scaling on everything, because it's going to do a ton of damage and unlock his final combo extensions. And on top of that, you can see with that one little drink, it also restored a tiny bit of the drive gauge recovery to help him get out of burnout even faster. And he's going to use that to go for the towards heavy kick, heavy punch target combo, which he unlocked via this drink 4. He's going to pop the level 2 here, and that's going to do a interesting mechanic here, because level 2 is normally an instant level 4 for Jamie. If you're at level 1 or 0, you pop it and you get a level 4 on a timer. He's already in level 4, so what does it do? It restores half of your drive gauge entirely, or in the case of burnout, half of the drive timer. Takes him just out of burnout. He's going to then be able to use the block stun to set up block string pressure, and he'd even spend drive gauge to do a lot of drive gauge chip. Maybe not 2.25 bars, but at least like 1.5 easy if he just want to put himself in burnout. You can see even Tantan going for the crouch heavy, which would do a decent amount of block stun and drive gauge damage. He could have also gone for a command grab and killed right there. It's a mix-up. So Crime chooses to just go near burnout and drive reversal to nullify the mix-up situation. Tantan is going to have time then to get out of burnout here. Crime throws the fireball to approach behind it. Tantan does actually get the perfect parry, but he's a little unsure about the scenario, and so he just blocks. He could have checked him. He could have pressed crouching medium kick and won this round, but Crime gets the sneaky overhead instead. So lots of fast interactions and fast reads from both players. Tantan almost made an incredible comeback, but great resolve from Crime to close this out and move on in the top 8. And of course, we can't end this video without talking about MenaRD, the champion himself. And we had another classic stare down. MenaRD in the winners finals up against KillsU. They go for the stare down, man. And listen, this is dangerous because historically, MenaRD has a 100% win rate after these stare downs. He's like 10 for 10 on these. So KillsU, second place at Capcom Cup, outplaced MenaRD there. I don't know, man. You might be setting yourself up for failure here. And then when these players sit down to play, well, it goes about how you would imagine. Dissipates the fan with the light kick into the slide punish into the knockdown. He's going to go ahead and set up Blanca-Chen here with this conversion. He's going to get the meaties here. KillsU tried to mash on that, which could allow him to set up another Blanca-Chen into a safe jump sequence. He's going to fish with the crouching medium kick into the OD activate. Blanca-Chen combo conversion. He's going to get one more knockdown here. Empty jump to the grab. Good tech from KillsU. But this time he reacts to the fan with just the raw slide itself. Perfect opening round for MenaRD against KillsU, and it goes this way basically the entire time. But as soon as you see the very first interaction, you can see the matchup knowledge from MenaRD. I mean, this whole just immediate jab on the regular fan to dissipate it and get the slide is very, very great awareness from MenaRD. The slide is projectile invincible on frames 8, but if the projectiles are too close, it'll interrupt it on startup. But also, these regular fans, they're hit fans. They're hit projectiles. You can eliminate them if they're not charged or not powered up by level 1 or not OD by just interacting with the hitbox. So doing stand light kick, Blanca's fastest 4-frame move right there to get rid of it and still have time after the recovery to punish is great matchup awareness. And MenaRD steamrolls KillsU in this winners finals. But before closing out winners finals, we did have one last final push from KillsU when he switched over to his original main, the jury here. He has a round on the board, but MenaRD is going to pop that level 2 in the corner. Going to go ahead and get the sequence here, throw the Blanca-Chen down, and what is that? The OD DP losing to the Blanca up ball. That looks insane. So let me break down this tech here, because this is super gnarly tech from MenaRD. Okay, so I have the same knockdown setup here from the level 2, and I say state here with the Blanca-chan going down. And what MenaRD here did is he went for a delayed up ball. And it's really interesting because if you sit there and block, you can see the delay up ball will actually hit you. And what it does is it activates Blanca-chan there into a true block string. And you can see there it actually it leaves Blanca a plus there. If you wake up with a button, for example, if it's timed correctly, you just do a slight delay here, and it'll actually still hit people waking up with buttons, and you can potentially, of course, extend this level 2 and get a combo from it. The reason why you want to do delay wake up up ball is because if you just do it immediately, it can just whiff. So it'll still activate Blanca-chan, but there's more ways for them to warm out of the situation, and that's why you want to delay it for a few frames so that you can actually clip them if they wake up with a button, and you won't just whiff over their head. But that's where the wake up ODDP comes into play. So the ODDP is really good because, of course, it's invincible, and if you do your up ball too late, you're just going to get clipped by the ODDP. But if you do it too early, you'll see here, you'll just whiff right over it, which is not bad. You're going to get a follow-up there, but we saw that if you do it too early, it also whiffs on the wake-up buttons. There exists a sweet spot with this, where if you delay perfectly, but don't delay too much, you just hit the DP on the way up, just a little slight delay, where you can end up beating both the wake-up buttons and get a punish on the DP, which is crazy. The fact that this is completely safe to wake-up buttons and to DP. And once again, if they do nothing, this will still end up being plus. They'll block it, and Blanca-chan will cover you for mix-up. So it beats blocking, wake-up buttons, and wake-up ODDP. This is definitely tech from MenaRD, and that's because this wake up ball has airborne invincibility on frames 8 to 26. So if you meet the invincible DP in the air, it actually ends up beating it out. So you just got to delay it slightly, learn the timing, and you can get full combo conversions from that, which is absolutely nasty. And of course, in the end, it was the Blanca mirror between MenaRD and Shigematsu in the grand finals after Shigematsu reset against MenaRD's Bison. But here we have the final interaction. Pops the heavy punch to level 2. Is going to get the combo conversion into the corner. Shigematsu has 2 bars on the table, but he's low in life, a sliver of drive gauge, and a sliver of health into the final up ball setup to secure 4 EVO championships and back-to-back EVO Vegas championships for MenaRD. But this last interaction is actually really gnarly, so let's explain that a little bit. As you can see again, it's a similar setup with a knockdown with the level 2 into the Blanca-chan, and he uses the up ball. But what's nasty about this is the fact that Shigematsu has low drive and low health. So let me explain. So here I have this similar situation set up like the jury situation as well. I'm going to throw the Blanca-chan down. And of course, if I do wake up, or rather the up ball setup here, if Blanca tries to wake up with a button, after I throw the Blanca-chan down, it's just going to counter hit into a combo, which is no good. But, you know, he had a sliver of drive gauge. What if he did wake up OD up ball? Well, of course, if I do it immediate, I lose. I run out of invincibility. But we're not doing immediate, we're doing slight delay. If I do slight delay up ball, it's going to go right through and blow through that. Of course, Shigematsu probably didn't want to do up ball because even if it landed, he'd be burnt out with no resources and die. But it can't. The setup does beat wake up OD up ball. But what if he tried to do something else entirely? What if he tried to use one of his supers to make a comeback? Well, the layers keep going, man. It just dodges the level 1. It just dodges the level 1. This setup is so crazy. It beats wake up buttons, wake up throw, wake up invincible reversal, and wake up level 1s, depending on the character. This setup is just so gnarly, man. Blanca-chan into up ball is just a crazy activation point to force the opponent to deal with your mix. And of course, the moment he had blocked anything from MenaRD, we go back to that setup, he was going to immediately just burn out, because as soon as he blocked this up ball, it was going to be over. He would be burnt out and gone into chip. So there really was like nothing Shigematsu could do unless he got a perfect parry on that exact moment. If he tapped parry, he would have been in a burnout anyways. And if it wasn't perfect, he was dead. That was his only way out, was a completely frame perfect or 2 frames perfect parry. And other than that, it was all checkmate for MenaRD. And those are just some of the many insane plays from this EVO. I just wanted to share some of my favorites with you. Hopefully you enjoyed this breakdown, and let me know if you learned anything in the comments below. And I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.